David Cassidy right after this. I think I love you. Now, my next guest is a very popular actor and singer who most people remember as Keith Partridge in the hugely successful series The Partridge Family. He's just written a book about the experience called Come On, Get Happy, Fear and Loathing on the Partridge Family Bus. This is his very first time on The Tonight Show. Please welcome David Cassidy.
I would get to come on the first time on The Tonight Show following Little Richard. Yeah.
Is this your very first time in all the years?
What about that suit?
That's a great suit.
I got this in, where did I get this? Might be Brooks Brothers. I'm
No,
not
wait a
sure.
minute. Am I guest 2 or 3? Oh, I
Three, right there. There you go, there you go. This is your first time? It's hard to believe. In all the years of The Partridge Family, you never did The Tonight Show?
Well, actually, before The Partridge Family, I was here once, I think it was '67 when Johnny was doing the show, and in those days they had a couch here. And I came, I was not a professional at the time. I was with my dad and my stepmom, Shirley, who was doing the show.
Right.
And I was sitting back in the green room, and on the show that night was Tiny Tim, and amongst other guests.
Right.
Tiny Tim came on and played Tiptoe Through the Tulip. And you know what, remember what Tim looked like? He was...
Handsome man.
Very handsome man, yeah. and very reflected the decade of looseness. My dad was also on the show, who looked a lot like David
Jack
Niven.
Cassidy.
Jack
Yeah,
Cassidy,
right, right.
and dressed to the nines impeccably. Came out and sat right here, right where Richard's sitting. Shirley's sitting here, and they're doing an interview, and Tim quite innocently said, "You know, Miss Jones, I've always been such a big fan." My dad looked over, had his arm around him on the couch, and said, "I was hoping you'd say that." And kissed him. And kissed him in the mouth.
You know, David, it's... Boy, like father, like son, huh?
You gotta get real, you gotta be honest, you know, and,
It's amazing.
yeah.
It's amazing how history repeats itself.
Well, we gotta be going now, folks. It's amazing how history does repeat itself. I certainly did want to change my image, and I did it quick, too, didn't I? Huh?
Now, did you ever go through, like, a whole hippie phase thing?
Oh, are you kidding? I was, you know, I was very, very, very wild and reckless. I mean, I wasn't dangerous as a teenager, but certainly the antithesis of Keith, who was, of course, sweet, wonderful, and innocent, and wore a lot of bad shirts.
Right, bad shirts. Long hair.
Very, very long hair. Well, you remember that era.
Oh, yeah,
I understand. You
Well, I grew up in a small town where you really couldn't have long hair. But I think, was it different out here when you went to school?
Oh,
Could
it
you
was
have long
wild.
hair?
I mean, you know, the motto of the whole generation that I grew up with and I align myself with, I was, you know, dope and sex and rock and roll and all that madness, and it was really, it was very wild. The pendulum had swung from the 50s when Richard and well, from the 50s, and I think that everybody at that point was really trying to bust loose with the social and sexual revolution.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, my musical taste was very different from what I became associated with as an actor playing Keith.
On the show.
I would sing these sweet pop songs, but I mean, I saw Hendrix 5 times and Clapton. And...
Well, let me ask you about a phrase here. This is like the oddest phrase. I grew up in the 60s. I've heard almost every phrase. It says, back in '66, drive-in theaters were like brothels. You drive in, you put the box in the car, eat popcorn 5 minutes, and then bang, you're doing the pop and gobble.
Well, come on, Jay, you were a teenager
I know
once,
what you mean,
weren't you?
yes. But,
let's use your imagination.
well, it's kind of in my imagination, I guess. It's like the oddest phrase.
Pop and gobble?
Do you remember
I wouldn't know where to begin with
Pop-Tart?
that.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you quoted that from the book. Well, it was, you know...
Is there an index here or something to explain some of the...
Go to gobble.
Some of these 60s
Yeah.
stuff? What was your mom's reaction to the book? Now, I mean, you have a lot of stuff here about the sex and
She
things.
actually has not read it, of course, because it's just out today.
Oh, you didn't go over with it.
So she hasn't read it. And, Mom, I do have those flowers in the mail to you. I just wanted you to know.
Oh, she will be shocked? Here's what I want to ask you about
yeah.
now, and this is something I know myself as a kid when the show was on. And Kevin, certainly.
Yeah.
Did you have a crush on Susan Day? When you were a
Talk
kid?
about pop and gobble.
Well, there's been a little talk, Kevin. Come on, let's be honest.
Now, when you now she was your sister on the show,
Yes, and
now, of course, technically in TV world that would be illegal. But did you guys ever have a crush on her? Did you ever date?
We were very, very much supportive of one another, and she was one of my closest and dearest friends and confidants. And really, because the experience was very traumatic for me to become, I was a very serious actor, and when that happened to me, and I had that fame, and they created this David Cassidy guy from merchandising and marketing and all of that, and playing him and feeling somehow or another out of control with it, I really lost my own identity with it.
Yeah, but that wasn't my question.
Very,
I asked you if you and Susan Day ever...
I'm trying to avoid that.
Oh, you're trying to avoid the question?
No, not at all. No,
were you like romantic?
No, we were very... No, we were very, very supportive, very brotherly, sisterly.
Supportive?
No,
sound like Clinton. Come on, did you do it or not? No, did you guys ever go out? Did you date? Did you date? Did you date? Did you guys date?
Not really, no, because...
not really?
No, we didn't really.
Did you ever kiss her?
Jay, now...
It's harmless enough.
Hey, now.
Yeah, I think I probably... Come on, Jay, this is not 20 questions, is it?
If it takes 20, I'll... If you can do it. Well, if you can do it in less than 20, is it in the book?
It's in the book. It's all in the book.
So it's in here.
Yeah, it's all in the book. I do want to say that the book is really about, for me, it was, thanks, Jay.
I'll let you out of it gracefully.
Thanks, pal.
I think we know the answer. Now, you just finished the Broadway show with your brother, right?
I did.
What did you do, a year on that?
About 10 months. In fact, yesterday was our final performance of Blood Brothers on Broadway, and yeah, thank you. Because of, thanks. It was, for me, probably yesterday was the culmination of for me, the best moment of my entire career. And fans have been incredibly supportive of me. And I have to say that the time that I spent in the 80s, when it was very difficult for me to get those kinds of jobs, when people did not look at me as a credible actor. And from a lot of it was a result of the fame that I had and the kind of fame that I had. But I have to say it was my finest moment and the best experience I ever had.
That's great.
I want to thank all of you for
And
that.
the book is called Come On, Get Happy. David Cassidy. David, thanks. Good to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night on the show, Kyle MacLachlan from the Flintstones, Louis Anderson, and our 10-year-old graduate, Michael Kearney. Would you guys mind if I, rather than say goodnight to each of you, we just have a nice round of applause for our veterans and for Mary Keith
Here's
as well.
to that. Yeah.
Thank you, folks. Thank you very, very much. See you tomorrow night.